It gets mic over. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Frank's Corner. How are we doing today? Well, we have a few things going on about the country. Another U.S. citizen killed by ICE. Yes, another U.S. citizen killed by ICE. And we had that emergency room nurse killed. Along now it was Renee Good, then an emergency room nurse now. And of course, the Republicans get out there and spread their lies as quick as they can. Okay, so there's a I don't know. Sometimes I'm just tripping. They're going to try to cover up the nurse. The killing in the nurse. They covered up the nurse. They'll cover up the killing of Renee Good. They'll cover up the killing of this. I guess his name was Alex. Yeah, Alex. Correct me. I mean, I've seen the again videos on live. I've seen a few of them. I watched a few of them. Uh, the thing to know is he was a licensed concealed to carry gun holder. So he did have a gun, in his back waistband, which is about where most people carry concealed. I have concealed carry too, where most people carry their concealed carry. At no time on any video of the scene do you see him pulling that gun. But let's start with what happened. There's a protest going on. He's filming ICE. ICE shoves a woman pretty forcefully and causes her to fall down. He goes over to help her get up and still trying to back away from him, filming him. They start pursuing him and start pushing on him and being violent. Then they tackle him. Then they see the gun, take the gun out of his waist, his holster on his back, on the small of his back. And as they move away with that gun, you hear a pop, and then 9 more pops right behind it. So they executed the fella right there on the ground. He wasn't armed. He wasn't dangerous. He wasn't actually threatening them. So they executed him. I said the last time that this would happen again. I said that. That, this wouldn't be the last of anything, that this was going to happen again. And it is happening again. There's nothing else to say about it. It's happening again. The government's covering it up again, just like with Renee Good. They're saying, well, this, well, that. Okay, well, it's going to happen again. Don't worry. And, they're trying to make the grandpa that got drug out of his house in underwear, they're trying to make that a thing too. He was a legal citizen. I don't get where people's morals are anymore, but apparently I realize nobody has morals, which is kind of sad. Uh, but I mean, life is gone crazy. Not just a little crazy, but a lot crazy. I mean, you see all these people doing crazy stuff, but we're just ignoring it. I mean, that's pretty much what we're doing. We're ignoring it. Not everybody, no. Uh, but let's talk about it. It's another sad thing to happen. A very sad thing. A person was killed. You know, an ER veterans nurse, someone that works with vets. You know, his criminal history involves some traffic citations. I'm sorry, I'm old. I've had a few. You know, I'm fairly sure most of us have had a few traffic violations. We've been around for a while. You speed a little bit, or you get pulled over, tail lights out, or something. They give you a ticket, and it's how it is. A lot of these local police departments and stuff, they push those tickets to make money for the city, and that's what they do. That's their job. Their job is to bring in money for the city. But this is just another one of those cases where they just flat out murdered somebody. So now they got two murders, for ICE so far. They're not counting. I think they said like 50 detainees have been died in their custody, and what was it said? They've arrested 154 U.S. citizens so far. You know, and I don't know. They just said U.S. citizens, but they didn't really talk about how many legal citizens. Because just because not everybody's going to be a U.S. citizen. Some will be here legally. I don't know how many they've arrested that were here legally, but I'm sure they have done that too. And then let's go on to the economic news. Trump is such a pompous ass that he actually thinks that he can control the world through the United States stage. Well, this is backfiring on him right now. I would suggest, unless he does some really good damage control, if your money's invested somewhere, I would suggest you take it out. Because, Europe, France, Canada, the Dutch have all decided not to do business with the United States. Trump's attack on visitors' passports and stuff that come here and spend their money. We are not a preferred visitation destination anymore. This takes a few million of revenue out of our country every day. So this is how Donald Trump's world is. But the big news about not doing business with the United States, about people not actually loading up transports to bring us stuff like insulin and stuff. They've refused to do it. They've also refused to unload anything that America sends to them. And this is legal protest on their side. Donald Trump, he's kind of stupid. I understand he doesn't have an education. So let me kind of educate you on what's going on economically. See, Trump can get up here and boast tariffs and all this shit, but other countries can choke us to death. They have the ability to choke us to death. They quit buying our goods and quit sending us goods. And what they do at that point is choke us to death. They cut us off. They isolate us. Oh, kind of like the tactics we use on Russia and them when we don't like what Russia's going on. We try to get them isolated. Well, now other countries have gotten smart and said, fuck you, Donald Trump. Fuck you, United States. We're just not going to do business with you at all. Okay. That big issue is most of our insulin, and we have, tens of millions of people on insulin here. Most of our insulin comes from outside the state. So if we don't get it, guess what happens to these people that are insulin reliant? Well, hell, they die. What you're going to see if they completely cut us off, if Trump can't salvage the scenario, which I don't think his dumbass can, but if he can, luckily we'll be in good shape. But if he can't, he would have to back up on every fucking tariff he's put out there. He would have to reverse them all and then admit that his ass wasn't as great as he fucking thinks he is. That's what he'd have to do. But, we'll see. But, okay, so what will slowly happen, though, is our grocery stores and shelves will empty, literally. We won't be able to restock stuff. The inflation rate will skyrocket. The U.S. dollar will collapse. Now, keep this in mind. If the U.S. dollar collapses because other countries are now talking about trading in some other country's dollar instead of the U.S., once that happens, our value of our dollar collapses. So let me put it in layman's terms. If you've got some small little savings accounts or IRAs or something, our dollar value becomes useless, and that money you're saving is just pennies on the dollar at that point. So my suggestion was, if you've got that stuff, start pulling it out. That's the best that you can do. But they finally got smart. Trump's finally stupid. Trump's, narcissistic ass self is put himself in a corner. And again, I'm waiting because, again, I live in this country. I want to see how bad it fucking really does get. But we'll be in a recession. Prices will skyrocket. Our value won't hold shit for against any other dollar. There will not be anything we can do. Stores will run out because don't think everything comes from the United States. If you actually think that, there's something wrong with you in a whole, because we have a global economy, which means we do get a lot of stuff out of this country. So again, people quit doing business with us because of Donald Trump. Don't worry, it'll all be because of Donald Trump. Our collapse will be due to Donald Trump. And any dumbass that supports Donald Trump, I can blame all of you people. Because again, he's nothing. He's just a small little man with a tiny little fucking peepee that's been trying to keep that out. Now he wants to not see the Smith 2.0 stuff come out on him. He's trying to get that sealed currently, past, and in future. He's trying to get a judge to even seal all that in the future to where nobody can go back and open it up and point all the crimes he's committed out that Jack Smith has lined up against him. So see, again, if you don't understand, Trump is all about lie, deny, and deflect. Lie, deny, deflect. And everything that his government is lie, deny, deflect. You've seen it with Renee Good. We've seen it with this Alex fella. They lied, denied, even though there's stuff out there that shows that they're 100% lying. What fascinates me about Trump people, you can show they're 100% lying and they still believe the Trump administration. I mean, exactly how smart are these people? Where are their IQs? Their IQ has to be 5 on the scale. I'm sorry, if you actually believe, I can pull up all these videos that show that what they're saying is not true, and you still believe what they're saying. So your IQ's got to be about 5, buddy. I'm not even giving you anything higher than that. You just barely function, which is kind of sad. But anyways, this is where we're heading. I'll just keep track of stuff and see how it goes, and see what the end results are. But we are heading in a recession. We are heading in being choked out as a country. We are heading in becoming a third world country ourselves. This is what's going to happen at this rate. We will be a third world country. You know, the ones we talk about, like Asia, Argentina, countries that their economy is just barely nothing. That's going to happen here, don't worry. And I'd like to know when this all goes down, when Trump finally collapses this, when he does collapse this, I'd like to see what these Trump supporters say. They're going to blame it on Biden, or go back and blame it on Obama, or back to Clinton. Maybe they'll go back to Clinton and blame it on Clinton. No, Donald Trump didn't do it. That's just their IQ is that fucking low. They don't get it. I mean, I just don't understand. And so let's brush across the ballroom that he's put a nuclear bunker in. That he has a nuclear bunker. Now you wonder why he's got a nuclear bunker? This is simple. He's going to start a nuclear war. He needs a place to hide his ugly ass. So he'll make a nuclear bunker in the new ballroom underneath somehow to save his own ass. Because he don't plan on leaving the White House. I mean, this is the fact. I don't care what anybody says. This man don't. He's making remodels and stuff for himself. I think a judge just turned around and said, hey, you're just a guest. But in his mind, he's not a guest. He's a permanent fucking resident. And that ain't going to change in his mind. This is where we're being stupid and not really paying attention to what's up around us. But again, these are just my thoughts on what's happening around the world today. From, again, us being choked out by other countries because they actually can do it. Trump just is too stupid to see it. He's seeing it right now, though. Because once we're boycotted, and that boycott's already started all the way around the world, we are screwed. Our economy is screwed. Our country is screwed. It will take several, if not another 75 or 100 years to get out of the mess Donald Trump creates, since he's been in office for just a little over a year. And unless you wake up and smell the coffee, you're going down with everybody else. But I appreciate everybody coming by. Thanks for coming to Frank's Corner. Again, give me a few more days to see how the news is. I'm going to get out here and work this ice storm. I did do that last night. Actually, I stayed busy. Not too many people want to drive on the ice. But boy, there was a whole bunch of sheets of ice all over the road. Y'all be safe. Take care. Peace out.